Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Travel and Tourism Podcast, my first season. Very special guest today. She worked with Club Med from 1996 to 1998. Her first season was in Copper Mountain during the fall of 1996. Get this, people. She started out as a reception GO, transitioned to yoga instructor, and then assistant choreographer, all in the same season. She is originally from Atlanta, Georgia, now living in beautiful Marina del Rey. She is the one, the only. Please help me give a warm my first season welcome to Ouija Whittemore. Ouija, how are you?
Hi there, Greg. How are you doing? I'm great.
Good. Thanks for coming on and
so
sharing. Sharing your story. And usually we go far back, so we're gonna have to go as far back as your name. Okay, you're the only one I've ever met named Ouija. Okay, so if you wouldn't mind telling our listeners, how did your parents, your mom, whoever named you, like what happened there?
Yeah, so it is my given name, and I give that credit all to my mother. She had a very good friend growing up from elementary school, all the way up through high school, a girl named Louisa. And everybody called her Ouija for short. And it was kind of like Wheezy on the Jeffersons. But for this girl, it was Ouija. And my mom just thought it was an adorable name. So she skipped Louisa and named me Ouija.
That's funny because I've worked with a Louisa for the last 14 years and never did it occur to me. I mean, I have a nickname for her and it's not that, but it never occurred to me to call Louisa, my coworker, by Ouija. But okay, that's very, very well. I'm sure you've never met another Ouija yourself, correct?
I have not. No.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Yeah. Thanks, Mom.
And she also didn't realize I would be explaining it every day of my life.
Yes, because people obviously thought it's not real, it's fake. And then, of course, you probably have to endure endless seance jokes, I'm sure. And by the way, there is always someone moving that triangle, people. Okay, I've never played, but someone has to be moving it. But anyway, let's move on from there. Normally, I go, way back, but you not long ago on your Facebook, you posted the most damn interesting video, which I couldn't believe I was seeing. It was Milli Vanilli talking to the Mickey Mouse Club was this Orlando, Florida?
That was in Orlando, yes.
And you were in the audience. Don't worry, listeners, I will be posting this video with her episode because this is fascinating. And you asked a question to, I can't remember their names. Was one Rob and the other?
Honestly, I can't even remember.
Well, one was really doing mostly all the talking, and when you watch the video, like you can see one is like, okay, I'll handle all the questions. So this is incredible. So now, were you part of Mickey Mouse Club?
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah, I was a regular on the show. They had, the regular cast, which was their core group of kids that were very talented. Awesome group of kids.
Were you there? Sorry, were you there at the same time as Ryan Gosling, or was?
I was not. That was a little bit after me.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay, sorry. Go on.
No, I was there. Yeah, probably in their first and second season, and so they had the local kids that would come, and we would get to miss school, and we'd do all different kinds of skits and dance numbers and just funny little things, and it was just so much fun. So much fun.
Now, were you crushed when you found out that Milli Vanilli were lip syncing?
But yeah, I think we were pretty surprised. And actually, my sister is the girl right after me. And she's the one who asked them what was the most embarrassing thing that ever happened to them.
Oh, that's right.
It was shortly after that it came out that they indeed were posers.
Your sister was had a crystal ball there or something.
Right.
Okay. And one of them, but yeah, looked like he didn't want to be there. And now that you think about it, like he probably, it was probably dawning on him. I can't do this anymore. I can't pretend. Wow. That's fascinating, man. Like this is crazy. Yeah. And you also danced from a very early age, correct? Since 4 years old?
I did. It was something I just knew from the moment that I could walk. I knew that I wanted to dance, and my mom put me in my first class at 4 years old, and the rest is history.
That was ballet?
Yes, that was ballet.
Jazz and lyrical, correct?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I did all kinds of dance throughout the years. I would say my biggest strength was ballet and point.
And were our ballet rehearsals as grueling as I see in movies like Center Stage and whatnot?
Well, I don't know. I disagree with those. I think they add a lot of drama in because at the end of the day, dancers do what they do because they love it. I don't think any dancer goes into that career thinking they're going to become really rich, or, it's not glamorous in any way. It's because it's something you truly love. And when you're doing something you love, you never work a day in your
That's true. You're right about that.
life. So it didn't feel that way to me. I loved being in my rehearsals all the time.
Okay, so at what point did you hear about Club Med? Like, were you still in Atlanta? How did you find out about
I
Club Med?
Yeah, I was actually in Orlando, and a friend of mine had planned a vacation to Club Med Cancun. And I guess the friend that was supposed to go with him, the plans fell through, and he had an extra ticket. So I said, sure, I'll go down. I had
Oh,
no idea. I had no idea what Club Med was. I had never heard a bit about it. I had no idea what to expect.
you remember what year this was?
That was probably end of 95 or the very beginning of 96.
Okay, so you were a GM and you saw what all the GOs were doing, and you were
Yep,
like, I'm in.
absolutely.
Okay, now how did you apply, or did you apply?
Well, this was the 90s, so it was very different from today. We didn't have internet where you could just look up the job and apply immediately. Everything was snail mail. And I didn't really even have the address to, I think, the headquarters in Port St. Lucie at that time. And oddly enough, within a few weeks of coming home with that trip, a newspaper ad popped up in Atlanta, and a friend of mine saw it who I told about my experience and told me about it and said, email your resume right now.
Wow. Newspapers. We're going way back, people. Okay.
I know. Oh my gosh, I'm revealing my age.
Well, no, you're not the first to mention the newspaper ad. I've never seen one, but it
Yeah.
seems to be more in the States than Canada. How long since from the time you sent in your resume, like how many weeks, months later
It
did you get
was
a call?
it was very quick. I
Really?
was I was so surprised at how quick it was. Yeah, I think it was a matter of weeks. I mean, it was very quick, and I had my first phone interview with
Phone
them.
interview. Do you remember who interviewed you?
I believe it was Linda Sinkowitz.
Okay. Did you have to go in for a sit down
I
interview?
did. I did.
Where?
Then
Where?
they Sandpiper.
Oh,
Sandpiper.
okay.
They invited me down to Sandpiper. And so my mom and I drove down there, and I met Linda, and we had a great interview. She asked me if I would walk around the village clucking like a chicken, and I immediately did.
No. Wait.
Yeah,
This is true?
this is true. She said, what would you do if I asked you right now to walk around the village clucking like a chicken?
Oh
And I
my
got up and I just
God.
started clucking and
Okay.
walking.
I've listened to so many interview stories. I haven't, that's the first. Wow. Okay.
Really?
Yeah. No, you're the only one to have gone through this, but I see what she was doing. I just never, no, you're the first in like 80 interviews that someone said they had to do
That's
that in the village.
hilarious. Oh, it was great. I think, more than anything, she just wanted to see how outgoing I was.
Wow. And did you get the job immediately after that? I hope.
I did. Yeah.
Okay. Now, did you know, or did you ask did they ask you what you'd like to do, or did you ask them, can I do that?
Oh,
Like,
yes. No, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. After being in Cancun as a GM, I, became friendly acquaintances with the whole entertainment department and, the choreographer, and was like, wow, so you're telling me I can come to Club Med, I can travel and do what I love and like get paid too? And they were like, yes. So, as soon as I interviewed, I told them immediately I want to become the choreographer.
okay. And then they told
Well, they
you
were like,
something
well,
else, right?
that's
Okay.
promoted from within. Yeah, they said that
Okay.
was, at that time, a choreographer was also the head of the entertainment department pretty much. And so it was something that was promoted from within. But I said, cool, well, whatever job you want to put me on, I'm fine doing, and
So
I'll work my way up.
so you go to Cancun, you're in Sandpiper in Florida. You have dreams of the Caribbean, and they send you to a snow village. Am I getting this right?
And that's so true. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Oh my
You're
gosh.
from the heat. You're from Atlanta. You're in
Yes,
Florida,
I had
and
even
now
I
they're
had even
going.
forgotten about this. Oh my gosh. So, I was so excited. I was telling everybody in Florida, I got hired at Club Med. I'm getting ready. I had my bikinis out, my Daisy Dukes. I was
Ow.
ready. And I had never been really above sea level in my life. I mean, not really. I had definitely never been in the mountains. And people would joke with me, like, so what happens if they call you and they're going to send you to that one American zone cold village? And I said, there's no way. There's no way. No way. Why would they? What am I going to do in a cold village? Well, surely enough, they called and said they were sending me to Copper. And I think I had 3 days before I was flying out. And I literally had to go with my parents and get a wardrobe. I didn't even have a jacket.
Now, judging by one of the photos you sent me, it looks like you held on to one of those bikinis, right?
Of course I did.
God bless you. If I have your permission to use that photo when I publish your episode, that would be great. Thank you. Okay.
Of course.
So,
Yeah.
and then they start you at the reception. So, did you like doing that?
Yeah, I mean, it was a cross through job for me. I knew that. Like, I was willing to do it as long as they had to, and I'm good with people. So it was a good fit, but I had my eye on the prize and I really,
Yeah.
really, really wanted to be a credit.
So let's try and place Copper 96. Who is the chief of village?
Carlos Castro, the one and only.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yes. And he was an amazing first chef de village. I cannot say that enough. He was just wonderful, a great leader, a great friend. And to have him be so into the arts as I was just a really great fit, as a chef de village for me.
And who was your like head of reception, I guess they call it back then? Like the person in charge of...
it was just Jenner.
Oh, that's right. Okay, that's right. Yeah. That
yeah,
didn't
and
change till later.
that was Steve Cohen, who you
Oh, it was?
yeah, he recently interviewed.
Wow, so you got a good first season with Carlos and Steve. Wow.
I did. It was a really great start off for sure.
Okay. So now explain how you can transition, like I guess you're doing reception and yoga instructor at the same time?
Yeah. So what happened was ultimately like immediately upon arrival, I'm like, where's the choreographer?
Okay, yeah. So you're one of those geos that immediately said, I want to be in every show, right? Instead of
yes.
That's other ones that were hiding from the choreographer. Okay, you immediately, who was the choreographer?
Yes, I wanted to go and introduce myself to Joey Templin.
Wait, the Joey Templin, future chief of village from Australia?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
yes,
all right.
Sir.
Wow.
And I wanted to meet him immediately and let him know that I was there, whatever numbers he needed, support in, I was willing, I was able. And he was very glad because, like you said, many geos are not like that. And so I was working reception during the day, eating dinner, and then immediately getting ready for the shows, doing them every night, and then rehearsals every night, and really burning the candle on both ends with that. And then also took on warming up skiers in the early morning. And
with the yoga, you mean like
yeah.
I mean, there's no chief of sports in a ski village. So who do you approach to offer your services for yoga?
It was Carlos and Joey came up with it. They just thought that would be a nice addition to what was happening for the skiers and something I was willing to do.
Wow. So do you remember a lot from your first season? Like the first week where you fish out of water, but since you'd been a GM, you knew what to expect. Any culture shock besides the -40, I'm guessing, or the cold weather?
I think that first season, the hardest thing for me was the culture shock of being in a high altitude and freezing weather. I had never experienced that in my life. And also my body didn't acclimate and I ended up in the ER with extreme hypoxia.
That's right. After 2 months, I think you said that.
Yeah.
You and they actually, Carlos offered you to go home, but you opted to walk around with an oxygen tank like an old lady, right? Is this correct?
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. I didn't want to lose any momentum. And, he was like, girl, if you go home, don't worry, we'll send you, back out in a couple months if you want to recover. And I said, no way. Give me the oxygen. I'm sticking with it.
Did people think you were doing like an animation bit or like when they saw you?
No, I think everybody knew exactly. It's pretty common.
Okay. Okay. No, I didn't. I mean, I don't interview too many that have worked there. I know people love copper encrusted, but I
Mhm.
haven't heard of a geo walking around with an oxygen tank because they want it to stay. No, that's a first too. Lots of firsts here, listeners. Wow. Okay. So did you? And how about acclimating to the 7 day a week thing? Is that okay for you?
Yeah, that didn't really bother me so much. I mean, those first 2 months, I was operating on like 30% less oxygen than my body needed. So I was wearing down. But the second I got my oxygen back up, I was great. I was good
Now, did you give
to go.
yourself a nickname while you were there, or did your badge say Ouija?
It said Ouija. It's kind of hard to beat that,
And
you know?
how many times a day did GMs ask you about your name?
I mean, I would imagine a lot, but I don't remember it actually being too crazy. If anything, I think being around a lot of French people, I have a better chance of it being pronounced right than around Americans.
Were there a lot of French that went to Copper that year?
We had a lot of French and a lot of Brazilian people. I remember they
Oh,
loved to
really?
come up and yeah, ski. Yeah, in Portuguese. Yeah,
And were working your first Christmas and New Year's there? Was that rough at all, or was like, it's just like any other holiday?
it was fun. It was great. I loved it. I loved the atmosphere. I loved the GMs. I loved the geos, and it was just so much fun.
Okay. Oh, great. So working either of those days, like I don't know, did you have to like while the guests were eating, were you putting gifts in their room? Like, because that's a pretty crazy night, right? Because some resorts you have to put the presents in all the GM rooms while they're eating, and then you have to run backstage, have a sandwich, get ready for the show, and then repeat the same thing on New Year. So did you find that a lot, or it was fine?
Oh wow! I don't remember that we put
Oh,
Christmas
not everyone did. No, I was just curious if you
Yeah.
had to do that in
Yeah,
Copper.
I know. So I do remember the holidays were very, very trying. And it was actually New Year's Eve that I collapsed.
Oh,
and
really? From
and I didn't
exhaustion?
even yeah, from the hypoxia. And
Mm.
that time I didn't even know it. And I didn't even drink that night, but I went to bed by like 10 p.m. I was just so tired. And the next morning I couldn't even get out of bed. And
Oh,
that's when
wow.
I ended up yeah, going to the little ER right around the corner.
Okay. And after you got better, did you know how to ski or snowboard, or did you learn that there?
I had no idea how to, but I ended up meeting a boyfriend who was a ski instructor, and he ended up teaching me.
Oh, okay, that's good. That helps,
Yeah,
right? It's a two for one. We call it two for,
yeah,
right? Okay.
yeah. And I
Prob-
especially loved it once it was springtime and everything started warming up, and I was able to ski in just a t-shirt and sweatpants. That was so beautiful.
and your bikini?
Yeah. Oh, so the bikini that happened right in the dead of winter. And
Okay.
that was and that was taken by and I forgot his name, but we had a photographer on site at the club and he braved the cold and went up to a mountain top with me and I undressed very quickly. We took
Oh,
this
no,
picture.
but hold up. Okay, yeah, oh, yeah, brave, yeah, brave, poor guy. Yeah, has to take a picture of a beautiful woman in her bikini. Yeah, yeah, my heart goes out to him. Oh, what a hero. Yeah. Anywho, you'll know what I'm talking about, listeners, when you see the photo. Okay. There's no exertion on the photographer's part. Okay, you were the one in the cold. Okay.
It was cold too. I remember. I mean, I remember that it was actually really hard to look at ease and smiling because it was
Well, you
horrible.
kept you did the smart thing. You kept your boots on because a few times in Montreal,
Yep.
I did pictures like that, but fully like barefoot, and that's a mistake. Never go barefoot on the snow for too long. Okay.
Yep. That's
so
right.
so you were smart. You kept the boots. Now, do you have did anything besides your hypoxia, which is not funny? Did anything funny happen or unusual your first season? Do you remember or something that
Gosh, I can't. I
it's
mean,
okay. It's okay if it happens in another season. I just don't want to
yeah,
forget
I'm
anything
trying
about
to
your first
think if
season.
anything. Yeah, I'm trying to think if anything funny. I don't think so. I mean, we had a
Okay,
great
good.
season. We had a great team. A lot of famous people I worked
Oh,
with that first
oh,
season.
like who? Like who?
Well, just meaning, famous within the club,
Yeah,
like
yeah. Like
Carlos
who?
Castro, and like Joey Templin and just a really great group of people. Many people remember Stinky and Chantal.
Yes.
I worked with them, and it was just a great first season with a great crew that I'm still friends with many of the people from that season as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Thank goodness for Facebook.
Yeah. So I guess you were helping out with Joey with like you approached him and you asked him if he needed any help with the show. So did he take you up on that
Mhm.
offer at all?
Yeah, absolutely. We ended up having a lot of fun. And ultimately, because I was working so much on the shows, they ended up transitioning me, towards the end of the season to full-time assistant choreographer and running the warm-ups.
Do you remember the names of the shows that you did? And
Oh
that
my gosh. We did, Tina Turner. I can't remember the names of the shows, but I remember
yeah.
the
Okay.
the actual numbers for sure. But we did Love is in the Air, Barry Manilow. We did Tina Turner. We did, oh my gosh, so many. I would have to look back. And my mom said she even has videos.
Okay. Oh, great. So what happens at the end? So at the end of Copper, they ask you, I guess they give you a dream sheet. Hey, Ouija, where'd you
Mhm.
like to go? Now you end up back in Sandpiper, but I guess your request for choreographer hadn't come through yet. They told you do another season. Like I'm assuming you didn't
Yeah.
request Sandpiper, right?
Yeah, no, I did not request Sandpiper,
Good.
especially given that my family lived there, and I was very familiar with Florida. Of course, I wanted to go somewhere more exotic, but at the same time, my boyfriend Gio and I were asking to travel together. So that kind of, I think, made it a little bit more slimmer pickings because they had to find a village where they needed us both. And they wanted to, yeah, give me a little bit more time before they were going to put me up for the stage.
And now you land as fitness, so you're doing power walks, water aerobics, rollerblading, step. You're doing all
Mhm.
that, right? And
Yeah.
I'm assuming he was water ski, your boyfriend.
Yep. He was
Oh,
water ski. That's right.
all right. Now, this is 97, I guess we're now. Who's the chief of village at Sandpiper in 97?
This was Greg. Was it
Greg Snyder?
Greg Snyder? That's correct.
Okay. I keep forgetting to ask this question about Sandpiper. So let me ask you, since you saw the recent news, are you probably sad about that it was sold? I'm guessing, right? The
Of
resort of Club
course.
Med Sandpiper.
Of course, because that means we literally have nothing in America anymore.
That's true, right? Yeah. I hadn't
Yeah.
thought of it like that. But you
So,
are getting a ski one in Utah, though, I'm hearing. Like they
which,
are
yeah, that's
building.
super cool.
But right
Yeah.
now, yeah, you're right. That would be the last one. Yeah, that was kind of a shock, too. I mean, I never worked there. I only visited there, but lots of geos are getting sad about that one. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, it was a beautiful, beautiful resort. A little bit different from many of the other villages worldwide because it was very much part of the Port St. Lucie community. We had a lot of the people who lived in the neighborhood who'd actually come to the club regularly. But yeah, it was a beautiful, beautiful village.
Okay. Now, did you like doing land sports?
Yeah, I did. I enjoyed it. I really liked doing the aerobics. That was definitely up my alley. But again, I knew what I was headed for.
Okay, so how did you deal with while you were an assistant choreographer and all that? How do you deal with geos like me that either pretended he didn't know how to dance or couldn't dance? Like, did they immediately go back to the back curtain, the last row? Is that what happened?
Yeah, pretty much. I
Okay,
mean,
got it. Okay,
the geos, ultimately will place themselves, the ones who are happy to be in the front and capable of helping lead others. And then, the ones who are just like, okay, I know I got to do this.
okay.
And that's okay too.
Yeah, I'll show up. I'll take my lumps. I'll do a pas de bourrée here. I'll pivot here. Okay, and
Right.
that'll be enough. I won't put any more effort into it, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Got it. Here comes an embarrassing part of your story, which, when talking, this is why I insist on talking to people before we interview, because you were promoted to choreographer and now you have to do a stage. The stage makes you go to three different villages: Paradise Island, Columbus Isle, and Eleuthera, correct?
That's
Well,
correct.
while you're doing the Columbus Isle portion of your stage, I realized, oh, wait a minute, I was there. I remember exactly the certain people in your choreographer stage, but for some reason we don't remember each other. So could it be we're not as
That's
memorable
right.
as we think we are? I can say for my part, I'm not. Okay. But yeah, this is really bothering me because the same thing I explained you happened with Kendra. Kendra was there for 3 months and actually
Yep.
around the same time, I think, and we don't recall each other, but I do remember your stage because of Jen. It's not often. That was the first time ever in Club Med, the only time that all these people came. You were about, was there 10 of you? Do you recall like how
Oh
many you
gosh,
were?
no, it was a very small group. I think it
Okay.
was one, two, three, maybe five of us.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. I noticed they sent you to the three resorts in the Bahamas. Was there any reason for that?
Probably. I'm assuming because I was based in Sandpiper right before that. Probably because they were near each other and easy to jump to.
Mhm. Okay.
That's what I would think. They were easy to get from one island to the next,
How long did
close
the
together.
stash? How long did this stash take? Was
Gosh,
it
how
1 month?
long?
1 month or?
No, it was longer than that. It was a few
Oh,
months. It was
okay.
like, yeah, it was probably, Jen could probably confirm this, but it was probably, gosh, 4 months or something.
Oh, really? Good
Yeah.
Lord. Okay, and you
Yeah,
did.
because they had us preparing shows at a specific village, but also traveling at the same time. So it was intensive.
Did you have to do any of the arrivals, departures, and all that stuff, or just?
No,
Oh,
yeah,
awesome.
it really took up all our time. It really did. Like when I say it was intensive, it really was. We worked all the time. They even had us do like team building exercises where we'd go out into like the forest or jungle and wrap our eyes like with masks and have to trust each other to lead each other through the forest. It was
Really? Are you
yeah,
serious?
yeah.
Okay, I just assumed you were on stage the whole time.
No, we actually did like team building exercises because they were preparing us to lead the whole entertainment department. And it was great training. It was wonderful.
Hand in hand with the choreographer of the village. So, was there of the three, Paradise, Columbus, or Eleuthera, was there one that stood out, one choreographer that stood out to you the most?
Actually, not in those three, but in Sandpiper,
Who
definitely.
was it in who was it in
It
Sandpiper?
was
L-
Laurent Olivier.
Low?
Yep,
Oh, okay. Now you saying that's the first show you choreographed for was Sandpiper, was Alice in Wonderland in Through the
yeah,
Looking Glass in Sandpiper?
that's correct.
Now was that something you? So how I guess it worked that the Paris office hand out videotapes to you choreographers and you studied the show. Is that how how did that
Um,
work? Or you made this
no, they
all on your
basically
own?
they gave us a budget and a timetable of how long we had to do the show, and we had to plan everything from the stage set to lighting to sound, everything, and we had quite an intricate budget.
But
And
who
we
comes up with the dance moves for Alice in Wonderland is what I mean. Like,
oh, I do.
oh, you do.
I'm the
Okay, you had to do
choreographer.
that. Okay, who
Yeah,
gives you the music?
I came up with the whole music.
Really? Okay.
Yes, the entire
Please,
thing.
please say your mom videotaped this one too. Okay.
Yes, I believe
Okay,
she
good.
has that
Okay.
one. And I'd like to note that what they also did with our first shows is they paired us up. So I was paired with Lauren Yankee, and I don't remember who Jen was paired up with, but we had to make these decisions all together. And the budget that we were given, we also had to use that running the entertainment department for a few months as practice for our first villages.
Okay. Wow. This is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Let's just get back to the three villages 1 second. So which one did you find more beautiful? Paradise, Columbus, or Eleuthera?
Oh, wow. That's hard.
I'll give you an easy one. Which
Yeah.
geo rooms were better?
Gosh,
Columbus
probably
Columbus
Columbus.
Isle.
Yeah.
Yeah, if
Well,
you
Columbus is just the most beautiful. Yeah. Of the three, as far as class and elegance, Columbus for sure. But as
yes.
far as character and just Strong vibes. I would say Paradise Island for sure.
Did you ever
That
see a
place
ghost in
is cool.
Paradise Island?
I certainly tried, but no, I didn't see
Okay.
one.
Wasn't there one that's supposed to be hanging around the pool? Some old
There
lady hanging
were.
around
Well,
the
there was,
pool, I think.
yeah, well, it was the story that that woman had lived there, right? Do you remember the story?
Well, yeah, but yeah, let's just say for people who haven't been there, that's the most bizarre village because on one side of the
Uh-huh.
path you have the club, and the other you have private homes, right? Yet
Yeah.
yet they come through Club Med's entrance, so it's a really bizarre setup. But yeah, I've heard that story. Do you recall the exact story?
Well, yeah. So I believe it was the story that I remember is that the woman who owned the property before Club Med had bought it was a very wealthy woman who had lost many husbands. But the rumor is she's the one who had killed them. And the rumor also was that they had been buried all over the property.
Okay.
So I remember during my stage there, after having a few drinks one night at the club, going out with geos and trying to see if we could find ghosts.
Okay. But you honestly you did not see one, right?
I didn't see any, but I will tell you that property was so, it was old. There were a lot of older buildings that had been on there since I believe, before the club had built. And so it was very eerie and it definitely had that spooky vibe late at night.
Okay. I'm going to give you a rapid fire question. Favorite crazy sign or top three crazy signs? Do you have one?
Hands up for sure.
What?
Nothing
Okay.
nothing like the classic. Nothing
Okay.
like the
All
classic.
right. All right.
Yeah.
Do you like any
And
of
I
that
don't know. I
move?
mean, other
You,
ones? Oh, so go ahead.
yeah. Do you like Muevelo or anything like that?
Gosh, I mean, I like Danza Kuduro. I like, gosh, other ones do I like? I don't know. I like them all. But I really love Hands Up because I feel like it really encompasses what the club is all about.
Okay. Now I'm told you didn't have a nickname in Club Med, but I'm wondering why outside of Club Med you did. So I'm wondering why you didn't put on your badge Ouijasaurus Rex or Weigenheimer Schmidt. And if you could explain why you're called Ouijasaurus Rex or Weigenheimer Schmidt, please.
Oh, that's so funny. Well, I got those nicknames after the club, actually, so that's probably why they weren't on my
Oh, okay. I see.
yeah, Jax. I was quite young when I was with the club, but they were just nicknames that have come up over the years. Actually, I was living with some roommates at the time, and we were discussing nicknames. And I was kind of like, man, like I wish I had a nickname. Everybody's like, but you can't. Your name's Ouija. Like it just doesn't get better. Like, how do you give Ouija a nickname? And then that's when these were born. It was like, well, you could be Ouijasaurus Rex. You could be Weigenheimer Schmidt. Your name is my name too.
Oh,
And they
okay.
stuck and they've stayed for years.
Okay. That's kind of long to put on a badge, though, anyway. So
Yeah,
Ouija's
yeah,
perfect, right?
yeah.
Did you meet any celebrities in any resort that you worked in?
No major celebrities stand out.
Okay.
However, I do remember Scott Bakula being at Copper Mountain, and I was a huge fan of Quantum Leap. So that was a big deal for me.
Well, once you meet Milli Vanilli, it's all downhill from there, right? For celebrity
Exactly.
sightings. Okay.
How do you compete? How do you compete?
You can't. Now, was Sandpiper your last resort that you worked at? Because you say you
Yeah,
worked from 96 to 98. So was that your
yeah,
last official season with Sandpiper?
I would say that would be my last official season, but
Oh,
before my stage. Yeah.
yes, for your stage. And after your stage, I mean, is that okay? So once you do your stage, they assign you the resort, no?
Mhm.
Where'd you
Yes, they were going to assign me a resort, and me and that boyfriend that I
Yes.
had found in Copper Mountain,
Yeah.
he talked me into going up to New York, where
Oh
he was
boy.
from, and that is where I traveled.
Okay. Got it. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, we've all done it. Okay. I've done it. I did it. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Young love. What can I say?
That's right. Yep. You got to follow your heart sometimes, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will say, looking back, I do wish that I had stayed longer with the club, no doubt. But but it's life. And, in New York, I was able to continue a professional dance career there and continue sharpening my skills. And
Yes.
that, yeah.
Yeah. Now, besides Carlos Castro, were there any other GOs or chief of villages, chief of service that you enjoyed working with? Like anyone you want to shout
Well,
out?
yes, so many. I mean, of course, I love Joey Templin so
Mhm.
much. He was such a great friend and support when I was in the club. Also, Steve Riley, love him so much. I knew him then, and we've stayed really great friends for years. Also, GA. Everybody loves GA and knows
Yes.
GA, and she was there at Copper with me my first season. So, great person to have really usher me into the Club Med lifestyle. And who else? My gosh. There were a few others. JP DeLay was a very good friend of mine during my seasons with Club Med. And since then I've gone to the reunions and met so many more great
Yes.
friends.
When you were a GM in 95, did you meet any of the GOs that you were there as a guest and found in a club?
I didn't see any of those
Okay.
geos.
Do you remember who the
Oddly
chief was
enough,
in 95 in
I
Cancun?
don't remember
Okay.
that. I do remember though. I do remember one Geo, and I was always wondered what happened to him. And he went by Flash Gordon. So hey, if anybody knows who Flash Gordon is, let me know, because I always wondered what happened to him.
That's a cool name.
Yeah, he was just a really great guy, and he was a great Geo, and probably one of the reasons that I felt so inspired to become one.
What are the three things you miss the most about Club Med?
Oh my
And
God.
in any order, doesn't matter the order, but
Well, I would say first and foremost, the people. Just, all the great people you meet within the club, because it certainly attracts a very special type of person. And I think that's why we have our soul family. So I miss the people on a day-to-day basis so, so much. I miss the energy of the club, the lightheartedness, the fun vibe, the laughs, and of course the travel.
yes, exactly. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That would be my choices too. But also, I would throw lunch in there if I was allowed a fourth one. Lunch.
Yeah, the food is definitely. I'll
Well,
put
where
that.
else do you get a hot lunch anymore? I know. I never eat a hot lunch anymore. Like really? I mean, come on.
Yeah, but really, it's the people. The people are what make the club. And going back recently, I've been a couple times within the past year, and just to see the whole new generation of
You were at the
kids.
last one in May, correct? The
Yes.
Forever Geo one, correct?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have some fun?
Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. That was in Turks, and it was just I got to see friends that I had recently seen last year at another reunion, as well as new friends that I hadn't met. And I suggest if anybody can make it, you should definitely go, because there's just nothing
Yes.
like hanging with your Club Med Soul family. Nothing
Yeah.
like it.
And it's so much better going back as a guest and not someone who has to work there.
That's so
I went to two
true.
reunions and that was the first thing. I don't have to do anything. Okay.
Yeah, in the last one, the fitness guy, I was chilling by the pool, and he was starting the aqua aerobics, and he was saying, "Come on, come on." And I said, "No, my friend, I'm just going to have fun watching you do it."
Yeah, exactly. And you wait till he gets in and then
Another drink, please.
yes, what you have to do to these when you go in a reunion, hand the fitness geo at 11:30 a beer and make him chug it. Okay. They love it. They love it. Okay.
So funny.
Now I see after Club Med, you became a professional cheerleader for the Orlando Predators, which is an arena football
Yes,
team, correct?
that's correct.
How do you
Yeah.
how does one do that? How do you get that?
Well, I like I said, I continued dancing, of course, when I left the club. I was up in New York for a couple years and danced professionally in New York City. And then I knew that I wanted to move to LA. So my plan was to go down to Orlando, where my family was, for, like 6 months, save some money, and then move on out to LA. So I went down there, and it was right around that time that they were looking to add to their team. And I went to the auditions. I think they had 800 people audition or something crazy like that. And they were only looking for like 4 spots, and I made it.
Wow, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
And how did Orlando do that year?
Oh, it was they were great. I believe we were at the top of our game during
Oh,
that season.
nice. I was trying to
Yeah.
figure out if you were doing that while Kurt Warner, but Kurt Warner was in arena football like before 2000. So that's why I asked you what
Okay.
year I was trying to figure out. But you were after, of course, Kurt Warner won the Super Bowl in 2000, so he wasn't playing in
Yeah.
arena football then.
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
No, it was good.
yeah, no, I was just curious if you wanted to talk about your current career
Oh yeah.
in California.
Yes, I would love it. Well, I'll kind of skip through the story real quick. I ended up in Los Angeles. And for years, I actually did some acting work, some things that y'all might recognize.
Really?
And
Like what?
then
Whoa, hold on now.
just little
You don't get
stuff,
off
little
that easy. Like what I mean, like what have I seen you in a TV show or anything?
well, I mean, yeah, I've done just like a few little things.
Okay.
I've been on Grey's Anatomy a couple times. And
Really? Were you there with
yeah,
McSteamy or McDreamy or McCreamy? I can't,
no,
which
I
one were
didn't
you with? Okay.
I didn't
Oh,
get
okay.
to interact with them,
Okay.
but
Damn it.
um but yeah, no, acting wasn't really, I did a little bit of it. I dabbled in it, but my heart wasn't really in it. So it's not something that I really took super seriously. Anything I got was by pure luck. I just kind of fell into it and had a lot of fun doing it. But then yeah, I realized that really natural medicine was my calling. And I started working in, natural herbal plant medicine first, and was working for Whole Foods in the whole body section. And this was years ago. And then I ultimately got into cannabis. And that is what I do now.
Yeah, legal cannabis sales and distribution, right?
Yes,
When
yes.
when did it become legal in California? I can never
Oh gosh,
remember.
it's been since 2017.
Okay.
Yeah. Or 2018 at the latest. I can't even remember. My gosh, I've been doing it for almost 10 years now. And yeah, it's a very rewarding job. This is plant medicine that's helping so many people. And I'm just so glad to see laws and ideas and misunderstandings about it change.
Well, let's keep the rewarding portion going of this story because I also find interesting that on October 22nd, Saturday, you'll be hiking, walking, running a half marathon, okay, in
Yeah.
Napa Valley for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And also, you're running with a lot of XGOs, right?
That's absolutely correct.
It's like Tracy Nathan is the organizer of this, and Steve Riley, who you mentioned, will also be as part of your team, right?
That's right. Steve is going to be there. We've got a few others. We've got Alfredo Ramirez, Nikki Bruckhart, Gary
Gary
Sirota.
Sirota, Jane
Uh-huh.
Miller Smith, Stacy Torkos, Nikki Bruckhart, Nancy Reyes Fusca. Wow. So these,
And Sam
yeah, and
Valenti.
Sam, yeah, this is incredible. I'm also going to put the link in your episode description, but you could, everyone, you can donate, okay, money, which is also obviously going to go to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll put the link in there because these funds will help find cures and ensure access to treatments for blood cancer patients. And I'd like to ask you, how's your training going? Are you ready for this, Ouija? What's going on?
It's going good. I've been running daily, and I mean, I look at Gary and he's over there already doing 6 miles in 30 minutes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Gary's
So
going for the
I'm
course
definitely,
record, I see. Eh?
he
Okay.
is, and I'm not doing that.
Okay.
I'm not there. I'm planning on doing it's a half marathon, it's 13 miles. So my plan is to get it done in 3 hours and be at that bar having a glass of wine before happy hour.
Okay. No, that's no, that's no, that's doable. Yeah, I've ran half. So if you're doing a combo running, hiking, walk, yeah, that's a doable time for sure.
Yeah,
We'll
we'll see.
we might have you drinking before that. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? I might surprise myself.
And is Napa Valley State Park in Northern California as beautiful as I think it is?
I'm assuming so. I've never
Okay.
actually been to that state park.
Okay.
I'm in SoCal, but I do go up there a lot for work, and it's absolutely gorgeous. The land around Napa, and I can't wait to see it. I think
Oh,
it's
this
going
is
to be a beautiful,
incredible.
beautiful hike, run, walk, skip, whatever you want to
We'll
call
keep
it.
checking. We'll keep checking in on you for the training portion. Okay. Make sure
Okay.
you're staying honest. Okay.
Okay. That's good. I appreciate
I'll
it.
be your virtual coach. Okay.
Yeah. Yay.
Got any time for some rapid fire Club Med questions?
Sure.
Did you ever have a favorite dumb question from a GM? Like when's it going to stop raining or when's it going to stop snowing?
Nothing like that stands out in my mind.
Okay,
Honestly,
no problem. No, it's rapid
really
fire.
doesn't.
Favorite
Yeah.
animation passage? Copper, did some animator or
Yeah,
Sandpiper do something so dumb that you went, oh God, that's brilliant.
I had a couple favorite ones. We used to do a Titanic stage at the front of the restaurant.
Yes.
With geos all sitting at a table, but all on a slant as if they were sinking.
Oh, really?
And they were all blue with their lips blue. It was a pretty funny.
My God, that sounds like an elaborate entrance a restaurant.
It was, but it was really funny. And then we also used to, in the restaurant at Sandpiper, we had a huge spider on a string, and we'd put him over the rafters and lower him down onto people's heads while they were eating.
Okay. And then cutlery and plates go flying everywhere, right? Some people get really scared by spiders. I'm guessing.
It was a big, funny looking spider.
Okay. Now, this is a dumb question because it keeps happening to me, so I want to know if it happens to anyone else. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Do you keep having the same recurring dream that you're back working at Club Med, or you just don't dream at all, or you never have that dream?
Yeah, I definitely have those dreams.
Really?
I think it might be a type A personality kind of dream.
Okay.
Yeah, well, my memories of Club Med, I was always running. Always, because I was, doing multiple roles always. And I think it's that constant kind of anxiety dream of not being on time, not being on time, waking up late to run the power walk, showing up late for the show, stuff like that.
Yeah, and you probably were never late yet, but in your dream you are, right?
Yeah.
I have the same recurring dream. I'm going home for vacation or what, and I forget my passport in my safe, and I have to go back an hour to the resort. And this never happened to me, yet I keep having the same damn dream. But it must be, like you say, type A, and we're the type of people who could be the best geo in the village, yet we're the first ones we think are going to get fired, right? Like,
exactly.
Even though we're doing 3 jobs, right?
That keeps you on time.
Yes.
That's right.
Well, as I learned in Club Med, if you're on time, you're actually late, and I've taken that like through my life, because no, you get there 15 minutes before you set up, and then you open at 3. Now you're on time, but if you show up at 3,
very much that kind of person. And it's funny, in my current industry, I don't run across a lot of people like me.
Me too. Oh wow.
Very type A personality. And, coming from being a GO where everything is very high energy, very go, 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 the cannabis people aren't necessarily that all the time.
we sound like we're 2 peas in a pod, Ouija, and it's even more distressing that we don't remember each other from Columbus.
Funny.
Okay.
Well, we were probably on the go too much.
Yeah, no, that's true. Oh God, we probably crossed paths in the restaurant. Oh, this is wish we
I'm sure we did.
Photos of everything. Okay.
Maybe when we see each other at a reunion, the bell will
No, I've seen a lot of your photos. Not that I'm lurking or stalking you, but it's just research. We'll call it research.
You're like, nothing.
Okay. No, if you had a photo of your stage, because like I said, I know Jen because I worked with her in Columbus before. So, and I recall one of the choreographers helping me because we had to do a move on stage where I don't know how to describe it. It's like you're moving your hips in a sexy way, kind of like in a circle. So we were going to the right. I could only do it to the right. And the choreographer said, you have to go to the left. And I couldn't do it from the left. And that guy, a very nice guy, says, look, I'll do it to the right, everyone. Well, okay, Greg, it's okay. We'll do it to the right. So I couldn't go left.
Oh my God. So they changed the whole choreography.
Yes.
So
my sexy hips only go one way. My sexy hips only go to the right. Okay. I'm not talented. Okay.
And then when y'all did the show, did you do it to the left?
No. He set the tone. He goes, look, I can do it any which way. Okay. So I'll do it to the right. I'll match you, Greg. So that was very, very kind of him. Okay.
Very cool. Very cool.
Am I forgetting to ask? I don't want to let you go if I forgot to ask you something. So, if there's anything you wanted to say, or I forgot to ask you, or mention
I don't
someone,
think so. I'm trying to think.
now is the time because you've been so kind with your time and sharing your story with us here today.
Aw.
I don't want to forget anything, but if you
Yeah,
wanted to,
I don't think so. I mean, I definitely want to thank you for doing all of this. It's a pleasure to hear all the different interviews with the people I know, hear about people that I haven't met, and I just really appreciate you putting your time into doing this for the whole Soul family.
well, yeah, and exactly, and like once I post the link to your donation, so people, if you're looking to get rid of some money, every little bit helps. So,
Yeah,
going
anything,
to
even yeah, even a dollar. And I have on the top of my page, and also Tracy Nathan at the top of her page, we have the fundraiser pinned there. So if you're curious to see that link, you can see it on our pages
And
as well.
can you donate anonymously
Yep,
or
you sure
okay.
can.
Okay,
You
so
can
there you go,
do it
people.
any way you want. And what I think about with it is, if it weren't for people like us helping out, maybe we wouldn't have our friend Tracy Nathan around anymore. So this
That's
is
right.
like saving lives. I mean, this is definitely a worthy
Yeah,
cause.
I did my first season with Tracy
Aw.
in Turks in '94. Yeah. So
So
yeah,
when are you coming in the next reunion, Greg?
yeah, as soon as I stop working for a school and go by the academic calendar, yeah,
Oh
because
man.
unfortunately I work for university and follow the academic calendar.
Yep,
So
that's right. That's
May
right.
is the start of our academic year, but I've been to two and I love them a lot. I went to two in Cancun in 2008 and 2010, and yes, I know I have to get back out there.
I
I
can't
know.
wait. I hope we get to see each other at
Well,
one.
you saved me a dance, Ouija Whitmore, but
I will.
I'm not a good dancer. Okay, okay.
Well, I'll help you.
You're gonna have these size 13
And
feet
I'll
all over
remember
yours.
that we only swivel our hips to the right.
Thank you. Okay. Wow, this has been so awesome. Everyone, I hope you enjoyed this interview as much as I did with the only Ouija Whitmore. And thanks again, Ouija, for taking the time.
Thank you so much. And thank you for listening, everybody.
Thank you. We're going to say goodbye now, people. Say bye, Ouija.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.